Walt Disney said in his I think it was 1939, memo, a 16-page memo about acting training animator training, if there was animator training, which at that time there was not. There wasn't any animator training until the 1960s at Cal Arts. That was the first one. But he said in this memo, he said, the mind is the pilot. 80% of the time is what's missing from animation. Animators are so often taught everything is physical. You got to keep moving, got to keep moving. And so you wind up with unmotivated movement for the sake of movement on account of its animation. I understand that you got to keep moving, that animation is movement. I know this, I understand. However, everything is controlled out of the brain, and it is, the wisdom is animate the thought. Animate the thought. That's probably the most important thing to remember. Once you start down the pathway, when you're trying to really get credible acting in your performance, is to animate the thought, okay? And the physical part will follow, is the best way to do it. In the early days of animation, before there was sound, what they did was they copied live action. They copied Charlie Chaplin, Buster Keaton, and these people who were geniuses. They were wonderful actors, but those guys were mimes, M-I-M-E. They were miming because they did not have sound available to them. And so what they would do is they would do things, okay, they would do things like this. And cartoons copied that because there was no sound. Unfortunately, today, a lot of animators are still doing that, and we have plenty of sound. You don't need to be a mime anymore. You need to say, what is the structure of the scene? What am I doing? What is the character doing? I've had some famous animators in some of my classes. I couldn't get them out of their chair with dynamite. If somebody's going to take an acting class, they're going to have to get up and act. And this is, acting and animation are two different art forms. The animation is a visual art form. Acting is a performing art form. They have certain overlapping aspects, but they're different. And animators, I say, if you want to take an acting class, by all means, take them. Do it. If maybe you like to do some plays, maybe you'd like to act in some student films or independent films. If there's plenty of animators that also are pretty good actors, and great, fine, stretch your muscles. You don't have to only do one thing. What I'm saying is, you do not have to be an actor, stage actor, movie actor, in order to give your characters excellent performance. And there's one more thing I want to say. You've heard the saying, the animator is an actor with a pencil, right? You've heard that. Okay, everybody knows this. The animator is an actor with a pencil. I believe that was, it came from one of the self-taught early cartoonists, one of the famous ones. They used to interview them, and they asked them how they did what they did. And this is an answer they came up with. I don't know, I'm an actor with a pencil. But, and this idea that they're an actor with a pencil is that puts all the burden of performance on the animator. Actually, the actor in an animation is the animated character. From the audience's standpoint, Mickey Mouse is the actor. Walt Disney is nowhere. He's invisible. So, does Walt Disney himself need to learn to go to play scenes with Robert De Niro? I don't think so. He just needs to know how to work Mickey Mouse. And so I think that the model that's the most useful one for animators is that your relationship with your animated character is one of empathetic direction. You're kind of an acting coach, acting teacher for your animated character. You don't have to all the time play God. You don't have to all the time be making the acting choices for the animated character. You should know your character's personality, values, ambitions, fears, joys, favorite music, everything. And then you ask the character what he's doing in any given scene, any given sequence. There's a formula, Alex. You may remember this from the classes there. And the formula is this. It's action in pursuit of an objective while overcoming an obstacle. You should be able to ask a character, what are you doing?